Well. I promised receipts, and I'm going to provide receipts. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's backtrack just a bit, because this is quite important, dear. So please share this video. I made a video about a friend of mine and their family in Florida being unjustifiably harassed by the CDC about their autistic son. I didn't give every last little detail because the family felt that they were not safe and they were scared because of the way these events transpired. It was quite unusual. That video went viral. And when a video goes viral, there's always backlash. This isn't the first video of mine to go viral. At one time when I had my largest account on TikTok with 500,000 followers, I had quite a few videos go viral. So I know there's always going to be people out there that have something negative to say about what you're saying. There's always going to be people out there that call you a liar, that call you a scammer, that call you a cheat. That does not affect me. It started to affect me when people started to accuse me of being a scammer and taking other people's money and fabricating an entire story that was not true. Because that impedes upon my ability to help anybody in the future. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if I have no following on any social media. I never got on this to be famous. I never got on this to make any money. That's not my intention here. So I don't really care personally what it does to me. But the fact that I've been able to help people over the past year that I've been on social media on several different occasions upset me, because that stops my ability to help people in the future. The fact that I'm told daily by thousands of people across the globe that they needed that laugh from me today, that they wanted to cry, but I provided them with just a little bit of hope. I hear that daily. The thought of losing that hurt me more than anything. The thought of the millions of people, and I do mean millions, across multiple platforms, millions of people view my content. The thought that millions of people were going to be left in the dark from the truth, were going to find days of despair because I was not there, that upset me. And then after the events yesterday, and knowing that the political violence in this country is about to rise in a way that we could only imagine in our nightmares, and then seeing this article on Snopes about me, my whole family is terrified now. A bigger target than ever before has been put on my back. I'm actually scared for the first time in my life because of that article. And the way that article is worded is if I made up a story to point a finger at somebody. And that's not what that story was about. That story was about getting a family to safety because things are changing right before our eyes that don't make sense. I'm scared today. I'm scared to leave my house. I'm scared to go on the trip that I booked to see my aunt that I hadn't seen in 15 years, who's on dialysis, who has a clock on her life ticking daily. I'm terrified now because of the way that article framed me in a narrative on a story that is true. Last night I made a video, said that I was going to bring you receipts. The family has spoken. She has made a video that is 41 minutes long. I cannot post it here to TikTok. I do not know how to edit it down. I've only been on social media for a year. I know people think I'm some great creator and I know what I'm doing. I don't. I open up the phone, I turn on the camera, and I talk for the allotted time that the video allows me to. I don't have editing skills. I have posted her telling her entire story to my YouTube page at Christina Talks Tea. The video is entitled, "The Family from Florida Speaks for the First Time." The family with the autistic son from Florida speaks for the first time. She felt the need, after seeing what was happening to me on the internet yesterday, to speak up. She talked to her attorney. Her attorney said she's safe enough to tell her story. So that's what she did. She sent it to me, and I have posted it on my YouTube. Now, for all the people out there that seem to think that I took money on my PayPal and my Cash App, my Venmo, and I did not send it to her, here's a few of the receipts. Every time a transaction was made, I let it pile up a little bit, and I sent it to her. All the monies that was sent to my Cash App and Venmo, and PayPal, I transferred them over to my Venmo and sent deposits that looked like this as the money compiled. They spent the money on their tickets. She sent me screenshots of their tickets, their flights, and their documents. She blurred some of their names out, but I realized this morning that the destination is still on there. So I'm not going to post that here because it's none of y'all's business where her family is going to. But they already have purchased the things that they need with the money that was sent to them. And if for some reason you still seem to think that I have made up this story, I encourage you to go to my YouTube page and hear it directly from the mother that it happened to. Like I said, it's 45 minutes long, so I'm going to wrap it up real quick in the next 3 minutes for those of you who want to hear more of the story that don't want to watch the whole 41-minute video because you already know it's true. Because there were some things I did not tell you in the original video. This all started with a dog bite to her son in June. Her 3-year-old son, not the child with autism. This is important information here, dear. Her 3-year-old son was bit by their dog. They took him to the hospital. They did everything they were supposed to do. The dog was put down. All things were done. At the hospital, they told her that if they have to send the blood work and everything off to the CDC to make sure your baby ain't got rabies and things like that. And if something's wrong, CDC will call you and let you know. A week later, the CDC called her. Nothing was wrong with her son that got bit by the dog, but they just needed more information. She didn't think anything was wrong with that. She gave them more information. A week later, they called again, wanting more information. She gave them more information. This was in the middle of May. The phone calls stopped. They thought it was over. June, they get another phone call from a man claiming to be from the CDC. On the caller ID, it said CDC. And he wanted the information about her 5-year-old child who was not bit by the dog that had autism. They asked if you had any child in the home that had autism. She said, yes, I do. She didn't think anything was wrong here. She thought they were still trying to figure out things about the dog bite, just following up on procedures. But then all of a sudden asking about her other child that has autism and asking if she wants to put him in a voluntary camp. And she proceeds to say, no, the phone calls do not stop. Then the threats of the CDC start being offered to her. Her family immediately left on their emergency vacation because she was terrified, because she had heard other stories about people receiving letters from the CDC asking them to join this voluntary work program and therapy camp. On the face of it, it sounds like a good idea to help teach these children with autism work skills and how to survive in life. But when you call something voluntary, and then when you don't want to participate, you want to send the Child Protective Services to the house to do a wellness check and interview, that doesn't sound very voluntary. It sounds quite fucking scary. And that's what happened here. And she's not the only person this has happened to. So I encourage you, if you still don't believe, to go to my YouTube and hear it directly from her. Now, I hope Snopes takes that article about me down, because after the events of yesterday, where he insinuates that I directly blame the president for what happened to my friend, is put a target on my head, and it needs to be removed expeditiously. Thank you.